Okay, in this video we will continue on the beginner's guide to Gosu in the Ruby language. If you are just starting out with this video, you will want to go to github.com, Programming Rainbow, Beginner's Guide to Gosu in Ruby. You will want to clone that repository, move inside the directory, and since this is the 5th video, we are continuing with the code that we ended off with in the 4th video, so you can grab the main.rb file that is in the video 4 folder and move it into the top level directory. Okay, I'd like to show you where we left off with in the last video. Oops, Ruby, there we go. So here we go, we have our moving text bouncing around the screen. We have our sprite that we can move around with the keypad or the ASWD keys. We can press spacebar to change the background color. And we have the title set to player sprite on this one. And this video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding sound effects and music, and also the ability to pause that music. Okay, so I'll just show you where the music is. So the music file is in the music folder, and it's called Free Software Song. It's the 8-bit version. This is a from Richard Stallman, if you look up his Free Software Song. And the sound effects are going to be Gosu and Ruby. So those are just sound bites of somebody saying Gosu and somebody saying Ruby. So the first thing we want to do is load our sound. So if we're looking at the libgosu.org and we click over on the Ruby reference, we come in here and we're looking at the different classes available to us. And the one, we have two different types that we're going to be working with today. One is sample. Sample is a short sound that is completely loaded into memory. This is for sound effects. So for playing short sound effects like player jump sounds or collecting sounds or the words that we're going to be playing, those are just sound effects. That's going to be sample. And for music, we're going to use song. So let's start with sample. The constructor for this class object just needs the file name. So that's going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to add this as a instance variable down here. So let's do Gosu first, since it's the first one I can see here. So I'm just going to call it Gosu. So it'll be a sound file just called Gosu. And this one's going to be Gosu, and I always forget the name of this, the scope operator, and the class name, sample, and then new, and we need the actual file that we're going to be loading. So remember, this is going to be, this is not the full path. This is a path based on where we are. So the relative path, we are working in this top level directory. So the relative path will be sounds and then gosu.og. Sounds, gosu.og. Okay. And that is how we load a sound file. So I'm just going to copy this one, and it's going to be the exact same for the other sound. So I don't need to type it out twice. And this one will be called Ruby. And we will be loading the Ruby OG file. Okay, now if these loading works, we're going to check that in a second here. But how would we play these sounds? Well, there's just a play. And it's very simple, very straightforward. These are actually optional, all of these. So you can just literally do the sound effect and play. We could change the volume, the speed, we could make it loop. But for sound effect, I don't need it to do any of those things. I just want it to play. So let's put since Gosu is the text bouncing around the screen, let's put the Ruby name on the spacebar when we change the background color. So we have this method right here that's changing the color. Why don't we just put in here, we'll make it say the name Ruby. So I'll do Ruby dot play. And we can put those on there just so we can see that it is a method, or we can leave them off. Okay, let's just try that one to make sure so far everything is working. Okay, so I'm going to run this. I'm going to be monitoring it, so I'll hear it delayed slightly.
Ruby, Ruby, Ruby.
Okay, that looks like it's working perfectly. And let me just try it real quick. I'm going to try multiple sounds on top of each other.
Ruby, Ruby, Ruby.
Yep, okay. So the sound effect can be played on top of each other as well. So since we have the Ruby being played when we press the space bar to change the background color, and we have the Gosu text bouncing around the screen, why not make it say Gosu whenever that text hits one of the walls? So right here, I'm going to say gosu.play, and I will add it to all of them. All of the, whenever the if statement gets triggered to change the direction, I'm going to have it say Gosu. Okay, that should be perfect. So let's try that real quick.
Gosu, 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 Gosu.
Okay, that seems to be working perfectly as well. So that's very simple, just to load a sound effect and to play the sound effect. So let's look at the music one. So song, we can load a music, and the constructor for this is just the same. We just need to pass the file name in. So we can do that, but this one is song instead of sample. So I'm going to put it right up under the samples. And I'm just going to call this one music. That'll be Gosu song dot new, and this one will be, again, the relative path to this is music, and then it's free software song 8-bit. And this is an OGG file as well. And now let's look at playing it. So there is the play right here. And we see that this has a looping. Now, if we just called play on this one, the looping is automatically, it's by default false. There's no looping. But since this is the music, I want the music to be able to play repeatedly. So I'm going to set the looping to true when I call this method for playing the music. And I'm going to start it playing in the constructor, because that's the last place where code is run before it starts looping. So I don't want it to play during the loop. I'm going to have it play right here, because after that, we're into this game loop where it's automatically looping every time, running the update and the draw. And we only wanted to play, we wanted to start playing one time, but we wanted to be able to loop over and over again. So this is going to be music, play. And for this one, I'm going to put in the looping true. We could actually do this for some of the sound effects as well, but I'm not sure why you would want to do that on the sound effect. But for this song, I want the song to restart playing once it has finished. Okay, so the only other issue with this, well, let's just make sure it's playing first, and then we'll talk about being able to pause the music and replay the music.
Gosu, Gosu, Gosu.
All right, that is the free software song. So it is playing. So let's look at how we could toggle pausing and replaying the music. So if we're looking in the same song class, there is a paused with a question mark. In Ruby, when you have a method that ends in a question mark, it usually is a Boolean. It's a true or false. So this is just returning if the music is paused or not. And we can use this as a switch to either pause or unpause the music when we press a button. So we can check if it's paused, and if it is paused, we could tell it to play, and if it isn't paused, we can tell it to pause. So this method pauses it. The play method we've already seen will start it playing again, and it will resume. It starts or resumes playback. So if we paused it, wherever it paused at, when we play it again, it will resume from there. So we're going to use all three of these right here to set up a toggle to be able to pause and unpause the music. So we're going to make a new method down here, put it underneath the game, the update sprite method. We'll call this music pause, or pause music. Let's see how I named it. I named it pause music. So the first thing we want to do is see whether the music is paused or not. So we'll say if music paused. Yep. Just add this in. So if it's paused, we want to resume it, and we've already played the music up here, so I'm just going to use this exact same method call right here. Nothing's changed from it. And then just on else, wish it would stop that. That'd be great. And this one will be just music pause. Is this lined up? Yeah, it is. And I need an end on this one. Okay, so this should give us the ability to pause the music and then to resume it. So I'm going to basically pause it within a second or two of playing it here. Oh, you know what? That won't work because we didn't actually call it from anywhere. We do have to set one more thing up. So we have this method ready to go to pause the music, but we're not using it anywhere. So up here in the, where we're getting our button events, we can add a new event here. And I'm just going to put it as the M key. Say keyboard M. And then we'll call that function, that pause music. Okay, now it should be all set up.
Gosu, 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 Gosu.
It looks like it's all working correctly. I hear it a little bit delayed, so that's why I was doing it several times there. So there is not much to the music. It is pretty straightforward. The sound effects, you just use the sample one. For music, you use the song one. If you want it to loop, you add in looping. And then just telling them to play or playing with the looping is really good enough for Ruby. And the way to pause it is just, you can use, like I said, if you don't know it's paused or not, it doesn't really matter. You can just check if it's paused and you can play it. Otherwise, you can pause it. So I think that's it for that one. Let's call this one up here, let's call it music, sounds and music. Okay, and that is going to be about everything that you need to get going with making a game, and we'll make some games with Gosu later. We'll build some other games, but not in this series. And don't forget, if you do enjoy Gosu, to go to github.com, Gosu? Yeah. And fill out an issue for why they don't have an ability to set the window icon. Why is that missing from Gosu? I can make games in fourth language. I can make games in COBOL, and I can set the window icon. And I can't do it in Ruby, which is an amazing language, and Gosu, which is a really nicely done game library, and yet there's no ability to set the window icon. So don't forget, if you like making games, to set a bug report to these guys. Okay, so that's going to be about it for that one. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching. Bye.